So as you all know, Prates won last night. I'm going to use this video to talk about my reaction and what I felt, how I feel about that fight, and also about Prates' next fight, which I think will be against Della Maddalena. Uh, I'm not completely sure if it will be, but I think given how Prates finished Magny last night, I think the UFC will throw him a bone with this one, and maybe he will get a fight against JDM. I'll say maybe he'll get a fight against JDM. Either way, uh, Prates fought Neil Magny last night. Neil Magny, a well-known gatekeeper in the UFC. Um, he's got some wins, and he has fraud checked some people. Mike Mallet to be a prime example. And yeah, I thought the fight would be quick. I definitely thought, Neil Magny, he's rangy. He could utilize the range in his range in that fight, but Prates is just really fucking powerful, and I think Prates would move forward and just kind of find that big punch early to just sleep Magny. And technically, it kind of did happen, but Magny came out wrestling. He came out grappling. He came out, really trying to fight for that single leg, trying to fight for takedowns, trying to fight to bring this fight to the ground. And in some ways, he was definitely successful. He fucked up the first single leg because he had it, then tried to go for a trip, and then ended up with Prates on top of him. But he later, like maybe a minute after, he got a second single leg, and he kept going for the single leg. He kept going to bring the fight to the ground. He wasn't as successful at keeping the fight on the ground, but I think it was a pretty good start for Magny. And then, you know, like less than a minute later, somehow Magny goes from like upright and put together to fucking, flopping all over the place like he just got kicked in the head. And I didn't see anything land clean, but there was a notable shift in posture and, just like consciousness in the fight. Like Magny was there, and all of a sudden he fucking won. He was bouncing and shit, and flopping and running and touching the cage and fucking, like he's in, he's out. Sometimes he looks like he remembers where the fuck he is, and sometimes he's just gone and still bouncing around. Like, it was really weird. I don't know what landed, but there was a shift. There was a shift from Magny trying to grapple to just on the back foot constantly. And then that's how you knew the fight was going to fucking be over at any point. And then, Prates, like Magny was trying to keep on the move and, like shift his feet around. No, Magny was trying to keep on the move and shift his feet away around Prates. And Prates ended up fucking cutting him off. And then, that's the beginning of the end. Prates cornered Magny and threw some punches. And then it looked like Prates missed. From where the camera was and from where I was when I was watching it, you could look and see I have my fight reaction posted as well. I went live on YouTube for it. I didn't know what the fuck happened. It looked like Prates missed Magny, and somehow, after he threw that miss, Magny fucking lights out, face down, belly down on the floor, out. After a couple replays, then it started to make sense, and you could start seeing that Prates actually did land a punch. It was a left overhand, and it just clipped the corner of Magny's head. It just clipped it. And after that, Magny fucking fell forward and went to fucking sleep. So, it looked like, and don't get fucking mad at me when I say this, it looked like Magny threw the fight. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying from watching it, the first time without any replays, it looked like Magny was throwing that fight. It looked like he wanted to get out of there, and after he felt the first little hit, just took a dive. But I don't think that's the case. After rewatching it, you could see it was a really fast, heavy punch that just kind of nicked him, and apparently that's all it took. All it took was a little clip of Neil Magny's head to send Neil Magny to the fucking Shadow Realm. Um, so that's a great, that's a great reputational boost for Prates, because Prates doesn't even need to hit you clean to put you out. Like damn, that was crazy. It looked like it looked like a miss, and somehow it landed, and so far from hitting cleanly, and still slept him, slept him. So yeah, I mean, from looking at that fight, you gotta say that Prates has got some fucking power. He's got some real power in his hands, and he's rangy too. He could reach you from a long distance out. So he's a very dangerous guy for welterweight. Uh, my only issue with him is his grappling, because, like I said, Neil Magny was able to chase a couple single legs and bring him to the ground a couple times. So I see Prates doing well against strikers, but against some grappling heavy guys, he may have some issues. It depends on how much Prates is training with his ground game. But now moving on to the main idea of this video, the main theme, it's Prates' next fight, because he called out JDM, and I think he'll get it. It's not certain, because again, JDM is pretty high on the rankings for Prates, but like I said, the way Prates finished Magny and the rising star he is becoming, the UFC might give it to him. And if they do, it's a really good fight, because both of these guys are dangerous guys who are beating everybody. They're beating everybody. So like I said, you got a really rangy striker, a rangy, powerful striker in Prates, and you got a brilliant, pretty much well-rounded boxer in JDM. Look, like I said, this is a fight between two really good fighters, and this is one of those fights, in a division where you got to start thinning the herd, because you got a lot of these, undefeated big fighters at welterweight now, and they'll make things interesting, but somebody's has to go at some point. Somebody's got to get defeated, and when you got all these big name, high power, high skill young guys, that's when you start thinning the fucking herd. So it's a good fight to make, and let me just get into how I think it would go. Like I said, Prates, rangy, powerful striker. JDM, pretty well-rounded, brilliant boxer, I'd say. I think his striking style is really good. I think his boxing is really good. Look, when these two come together, I think JDM has, more tools in his disposal with the ground game. If he wants to, I think he could put Prates in some pretty troubling places. Or he could try to duke it out on the feet, which I think wouldn't be too bad for JDM, but he has to watch out for the power of Prates, especially after what Prates showed us all last night. I'm going to go JDM. I'm going to go JDM because, like I said, he's well-rounded. And I think if JDM was to be in trouble on the feet, he could go to the ground and try to figure something out there. But even on the feet, like I said, I like his boxing. I think he'll be aware. I think he'll be fluid. And by fluid, I mean like he'll be moving. He'll have some good head movement. And, Prates will look good as well. Prates will be looking to fucking take JDM's head off. But I think JDM, like I said, he'll have the head movement. He'll be smart about things, and I think he'll find a way to win against Prates. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna steer away from a decision prediction with this one. I think Prates, like I said, he'll be looking to take JDM's head off, but JDM will be smart. I think JDM will win more exchanges than Prates does. He'll probably land more than Prates does. But if he doesn't, like I said, JDM has the threat of the ground game. But I'll be risky here, and I'll say JDM takes it via late fight TKO. I'm gonna go JDM takes it in round 4. Or no, this will be a 3-rounder. I think JDM takes it in round 3. Yeah. I think, Prates will have some moments. He'll land some big shots, but JDM will take them. JDM might bring the fight to the ground a couple times in rounds 1 and 2. But he might look to, like I said, duke it out on the feet with Prates. And when he does so, like I said, Prates will be coming forward, but JDM will be smart. He'll have the head movement. He'll throw some really nice combos in response. And I think he'll land a big shot in the third that, really just hurts Prates to the point where JDM can finish the fight via ground and pound. That's really what I think about this fight, but I think it's a good fight. I think Prates is a really, really skillful up-and-comer, and he's dangerous, and he'll have a lot of success at welterweight against some really big fighters. He'll have success. I just think against a guy like JDM, I think JDM comes out on top. But you let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next.